GF, 23F, wants to buy a necklace that I, 23M, have already purchased for her as a secret for Valentine's Day. So long story short, I have already purchased this necklace for my GF, who I have been seeing for 3.5 months, as a surprise for Valentine's Day. It was in short inventory, so I made sure to get it right away before they sold out. However, today she texts me a picture of the exact necklace I bought and said, "Can we go to the store? I need a new necklace." Turns out the store stocked the necklace and she wants to get it before they run out again. Since I have already bought it for her, I don't want to bring her to buy the same necklace. However, I also don't want to tell her that because I want it to be a surprise. So how do I make sure she doesn't go buy this for herself while also keeping it a secret? What do I tell her? Too long didn't read. Bought GF necklace for V-Day surprise and she wants to go buy the same one. Don't you wanna see what I got you first for Valentine's Day? Man, I live to read these types of posts here. All hearts for you. Also, you can give it to her early. Or if it's a small niche store, a stretch, but try it anyway. You can ask the store to lie about the necklace being out of stock. And please give us an update on how you solved this problem of yours. I wouldn't be buying pretty things this close to Valentine's Day if I were you. How I deal with this is to say, hypothetically, if I had already got you this necklace for Valentine's Day, would you want it now or on the day? Big smile and wink. Then she can decide. If she does want the necklace now, you'll probably have to get her something as well on Valentine's Day just to mark the day, like a little box of chocolates or an inexpensive bunch of flowers, red ones, even if you can't afford roses. That would be the ideal combination if you can swing it. In fact, do that anyway, even if she opts to receive the necklace on V-Day. Then she gets a nice element of surprise in any case. Get a nice box, go pick her up, and present the necklace early and explain that you bought it for her on Valentine's Day but didn't want to disappoint her today. My boyfriend makes me miserable. I'm 29F, in a relationship with someone, 37M, I absolutely loathe. When we first got together, he seemed like the nicest, most caring and attentive man. He cooked me breakfast and always cared about and remembered what I would talk about with him. Like, the man remembers even the smallest details about my life. I thought this meant he cared. Last June we hit a rough patch in our relationship. The pandemic forced us to be around each other 24/7. We argued every day and I said awful things. In what I assume was retaliation, he physically abused me a few times towards the end of the month. Then he texted his ex-girlfriend, booked a hotel room and cheated on me for 3 days straight. I was devastated and furious. We broke it off. 2 months ago we got back together and decided we both loved each other and wanted to give it a second try. We said what we would change and do better, and I believed things would be okay. Now I'm dealing with trust issues that are driving me insane. Everything he says seems like a lie to me. Every time I'm not around him I assume he's talking to his ex. I'm starting to think that getting back together was a bad decision and that I just wasn't ready. He broke my trust and my heart when he cheated, and I will probably never be able to forgive him. I don't want him around me and I can't stand to even look at him. When he spoons me at night I wonder if that's how him and his ex spooned in that hotel room. I'm absolutely miserable, but the thought of him not being in my life makes me just as miserable. In the back of my mind I know that I need to end things and move on, but I'm a selfish person. I'd rather have him around and be miserable than watch him go back to her. Basically, relationships and love are dumb. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Too long didn't read. My boyfriend cheated and physically abused me. I'm dumb and took him back, and now I'm miserable and dying inside. Let her have him. He's no prize. Every day you spend with him is a day you could have been healing and moving on. This is what is known as cutting off your nose to spite your face. What exactly do you think you are winning here in this self-proclaimed competition with his ex? A man who hits you and cheats on you? What kind of prize is that? I'll tell you what it is. It's the beauty prize. complete with a sad trombone wah 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 noise playing over the top. You don't want him to be happy with her, sweetheart. He'll be happy whether he's with you or her, so long as he gets to keep controlling whichever of you he's with and can carry on doing whatever he wants. He's not going to treat her any better than he treats you because this is who he is. The only winner between you and her will be whichever of you can scrape up enough dignity to leave him and cut off all contact forever and work on themselves in order to build a happier and healthier life without him in it. I'm absolutely miserable, but the thought of him not being in my life makes me just as miserable. The neat thing about that second feeling is that it is extremely goddamn temporary. The misery of a breakup fades. The misery of being with a partner who doesn't respect you lasts as long as the relationship does. I'd choose temporary misery over the indefinite misery of a toxic, abusive relationship. I promise, you will not regret that choice. Speaking from painful experience, I'm starting to think that getting back together was a bad decision. Yeah. If you are looking to vent, I feel you. That sucks. If you are looking for advice, do you really need to hear it from someone else? I was just wanting to vent honestly. Thanks for reading and commenting. I, 23F, found out my coworker 21 meters, slept with my ex, 30F, while we were still together. 3 years back I was in a pretty bad relationship. I'm talking phone tracker, not allowed to spend money without permission, threatened at knife point bad. I was only 19 to 20 at the time and it was my first long-term relationship. When I finally got out, I snuck out in the dead of night because I felt unsafe. 3 years have passed since then and I'm doing a lot better. I'm recently engaged to a wonderful woman. I've been to counseling, went back to school, and got a cushy job nearby. I was a little nervous about the job at first because an old friend that knew me back when I was with my ex would be working with me. It was weird at first, but only for me. He's a really nice guy and went out of his way to show me the ropes. We ended up on different shifts in the long run, but he still makes small talk and chats me up every time he sees me. Everything kind of fell into place, or so I thought. While on shift yesterday, a different coworker mentioned my ex and the old friend. The coworker asked if it was weird for me knowing they'd slept together. I had no idea, but I also didn't really care. They were both adults and it's a small town. That's what I thought until I realized, as coworker and I were chatting, that he meant during our relationship. I was really thrown for a loop. He must have realized I wasn't aware, because my coworker immediately shut his mouth and went off to do a different task. I saw my old friend as he was coming on shift later that day and he began trying to talk to me. I don't know why, but I was really upset. I couldn't stop thinking about the fact that he knew she and I were dating. This is even more upsetting because he isn't the first friend that slept with her while we were literally together. Yes, they all knew, and now I just feel really shitty about everything. I don't want this newfound information to affect my work relationship with the old friend, but I can't look at him the same and I think he's noticed. Advice? TL, Doctor, my old friend slept with my ex while we were dating. I just found out and we're co-workers. It feels weird now. Obviously, that friend is not a friend, nor are any other co-workers who hid that fact from you, especially the one who told you and shut up once he figured out he slipped up. That's something you always have got to remember. You don't owe those people nothing and they don't get favors from you anymore. Obviously, this doesn't change anything about your current situation. You can keep working with those guys or not. If you want to keep working with them, but you can't get it out of your head, you can just confront that guy and anyone who knew. That way, you can give him an opportunity to explain himself. Maybe he got gaslighted by your ex or whatever, even if that would seem unlikely. After that, the decision still remains the same. This could give you peace and acceptance towards his past deed, or if not, you can choose to work somewhere else because of the toxic environment. If you work in a firm you want to keep working and neither of them are in charge, you can always discuss it with the boss or the HR department. They can decide to take matters into their own hands and you can see what comes out of it. That's not a friend, and it's not your fault if it impacts your relationship with this person. They know they were in the wrong. however, you do have to keep your work relationship professional and civil. But I think you can be honest with the person and say, listen, I didn't realize she cheated with you and this new information has thrown me, and I imagine you understand how upsetting it was when ex-coworker told me, assuming I knew. I'm going to guess this alleged friend also didn't know you didn't know. Either way, no need to be best buds with this person, just keep it professional. You knew this ex was an asshole and clearly kept that kind of company. Your ex was obviously very abusive. At 18 years old, your old friend would have been very susceptible to a possible grooming situation. While he was absolutely being a shit friend by sleeping with your ex while you were still together, I would not rule out the possibility of your ex grooming and manipulating him into sleeping with her. He may have his own scars from her actions. Your friend was 17 to 18 at the time. Your GF was manipulative and preying much younger inexperienced people. Maybe you ought to confront your friend and find out the truth. Then decide whether you want to cut them off. That's a lot of bad memories you relive every time you see or think of your coworker. He's not a friend or even an old one. He added to your emotional stress, so you have every reason to be upset. His being nice could be his way of showing some guilt. Either talk to him outside of work or accept what happened in the past to build upon the future with you partner.